Hey Covalence friends, so if you haven't done user snippets before with VS Code and or don't know what they are, be sure to go ahead and check out part 1 of this video, which I will have linked in the description below. Otherwise, let's go ahead and jump right into it, where I will be creating a snippet to generate a database connection and even a query function that wraps around that database connection. So I've got this empty TS file here, and VS Code's going to be extraordinarily angry at me because I'm going to be writing a lot of code for a lot of stuff that doesn't exist yet. So I will be importing config objects, I'll be importing the MySQL library, neither of which are, present in here, but they will be presumably in a project where we're utilizing that shortcut. So I'll go ahead and do my imports here. So I'm going to import the MySQL library, and I'm going to assume that I have a config folder as a sibling to this file that has a dbconf object. I'll go ahead and create a MySQL pool using our dbconf. It's so weird. Like I'm virtually writing JavaScript here, except it's a Typescript file, so it's especially angry at me. So I'm getting no benefit, and I'm getting I'm still getting yelled at. So it's kind of interesting taking it from this perspective. But I'm going to create a query function here that wraps around the pool, just setting up a way to dynamically create some queries, and we'll even give it a generic so we can give it a return type ahead of time. We'll default to the MySQL OK packet, and don't worry too much about these. It's just this is a function I write and utilize a whole lot over and over, and so it would be really nice if I had a way of just calling a shortcut to create all of this in some kind of file. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So and yet again, this is not like the template you have to adhere to. It is just a function, a file that I write a lot, so I'm choosing that as the shortcut I want to establish. So this query function wraps around, or it returns a promise. We're going to go ahead and execute pool.query on whatever my user passes in for the SQL string itself and the values. MySQL query function has a callback function with the error and results. And if there's an error, we'll reject with the error. Otherwise, we'll resolve with the results. And I need to give our promise the return type of our generic here, t. And we'll go ahead and say export const query. Alright. Well, the file is decidedly less angry than I thought it would be, which is kind of a surprise. I thought virtually every line would be very angry and in red because everything would be, any. But I guess it's quelling the errors because I also don't have a TS config saying no implicit any. So, but it's weird because I feel like I'm writing JavaScript with some TypeScript syntax now. So this is the snippet I want to save. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this code. We're going to do what we did in the previous video, which is JSON stringify. The entire file. So it's going to be a multi-line string, and just like the HTML, yes, we do want to preserve those new lines, and we do want to preserve that spacing because we wanted to insert it in the exact same manner that we just saved it as. So I'll go ahead and run that, and then I'll go ahead and copy the TS string to our clipboard. Oh, by the way, I guess I didn't say anything about that in the previous video, but if you didn't know that, this copy function in both your Chrome and your Firefox consoles will copy whatever string passed into it to your clipboard, which is really nifty. So I don't have to like highlight everything after just console logging TS string back out. I just say copy variable, and it's really convenient. So what I need to do now is I need to go to File, Preferences, configure user snippets, new snippet, and then this one I'm going to call MySQL Typescript query. We'll go with that. We'll uncomment this out. Scope, we're just going to be strictly TypeScript with this. It is TypeScript specific syntax, so it's not backwards compatible for JavaScript natively. The body itself, we're going to paste that giant JSON stringified file. The prefix, I'll think of what we want this to be. For now, let me go ahead and change the name and the description, and I'll try to think of a prefix to do, like the symbol I want to trigger it. It's like the shortest thing possible in this entire, video to edit, but it's the one I'm gonna be angry about and most upset about, what I chose. Prefix, exclamation, create, maybe hash, create, maybe hash generate. I don't know. Because this is something that will be, globally available on every TypeScript file. For the description of this, we'll say creates a, database connection pool and a query function that creates a dynamic wrapper around the pool.query function. So we've got a good description, we've got a good name. Oh boy, let's see, what do I want to name this? Maybe genquery. We'll go with that. Yeah, we'll go with that. So now if I let's presume I've got a theoretical project here now, config dbconf let's assume I've got this theoretical thing here that's exportable. Well, we can now do genquery and then boom. And then it's not finding it at the moment, but like I said, we're presumably going to be using this in a project where we actually do have a defined, config object, and we do have the MySQL library already imported. So it's pretty cool getting to see this actually just come into play like this. So instead of having to type that same function over and over verbatim, which I've done I don't know how many hundreds of times in my life now, I can now just do genquery in a TS file, and boom, there it goes. So that's really nice and convenient. But that was fun. That's the we don't have to limit ourselves to just HTML like in the previous video. You can create snippets for whatever files, whatever extensions, whatever you want. You can even have it code out entire files like we just did in this. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And like in the previous video, if you have any suggestions for future Emmet abbreviations or user snippets you would like me to demonstrate, please let me know. Otherwise, like, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch y'all later.